All right. Welcome to today's webinar. We are so glad to have you here. I'm Katie, the Educational Content Manager here at Book Creator, and I have the awesome instructional tech coaches, Alex and Lois from Jersey, here with us today to share some wisdom and knowledge on using newsletters built in Book Creator for their practice. So I'm just going to pass it right off to them and give it to them. And so take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Katie. And we were talking backstage before the session, for Lois and myself, first ever Book Creator app webinar. Did a wee video one back in the day as an app smash, but we couldn't be more excited to be a part of this webinar with a platform that we're so very passionate about. And thank you for the opportunity. And we're just excited to be here with you.
Yeah, we're
Absolutely.
very glad to have you.
Uh, Thank you, Katie.
Katie, I just sent a request to share my screen so that we can that's all good. And please drop in the chat where you're tuning in from. We'd love to know. I see our good friend Mohammed has joined. Mohammed,
Oh,
you
Mohammed.
butter us up too much with the legendary talk, but we really appreciate you being here and we appreciate everyone joining us. We are just really excited to be here with you all and ready to share more about how Book Creator can really transform your classroom and develop a homeschool connection for you and your students and their families. So really quick, before we kind of get into the template and really talking about that, we wanted to kind of show you how to access this template if you don't have the link handy or if Katie's not being nice enough to share it in a chat or whatever else. So from the main dashboard, the main libraries page, you can go to that Discover tab and then click on seasonal. And I actually missed this the other day. There's this little white arrow over here where it's going to bring you to those previous seasonal ones. We're kind of out of back to school season, but you will see right here, newsletter template book by Lolex EdTechs, and you will be able to remix this to fit your needs. So we're very excited to share this with you today. And I've already kind of brought this in as a copy, kind of showing it in editing mode so that you could see kind of the side top tips that Lois and I are providing to you. So Lois, you can introduce us. Go ahead.
Oh, sure. So as you can see with my name being Lois and Alex, we are together Lolex EdTechs. And so we are very fortunate to work together for the Long Branch School District in Long Branch, New Jersey. This is my 8th year as a tech coach for Long Branch and my 22nd year in education. So my love for different platforms, especially with Book Creator, it does really allow teachers and students to be creative and also incorporate the accessibility features.
And I'm Alex Isaacs, also an educational technology coach, 2 years on the job, not even really. This is my second full year on the job. I was always moonlighting as an ed tech coach, as a grade 8 math teacher. But now I've reached my dream job working with my partner. And if you are on X, formerly known as Twitter, you can click on either one of these icons here in the bottom right corner, and that will bring you to our different X profiles. So very excited to be here. And before we really get into the contents page, all of that, this is interactive, by the way. So if you want to go directly to an activity, you can click on one of these page numbers and it'll bring you directly in. But what I really do want to share briefly is, I've had a lot of opportunities along with Lois where we're talking to a lot of educators, we're talking to a lot of ed tech leaders. And something that has really come about more than ever is the diverse populations of students that are incoming into classrooms, that ability to provide accessible and inclusive content for all learners, and now with this newsletter template, their families as well. So just a brief little backstory about me. When I was in the math classroom, I was instituting newsletters to share the amazing things going on in my math class. I actually did it as a team with my math PLC, my math groups, and it just really allowed families to have such a better idea of the amazing things taking place in our classrooms. But for us now, with this newsletter template with Book Creator, well, what better way to have multimodal aspects? What better way to have easily translatable pieces available to families and learners that are multilingual? So you just have so many different options. And we are just absolutely thrilled to be sharing this in our district and beyond. And again, Katie, you've done such an amazing job promoting this. You and the Book Creator team, we're so appreciative of that because we just really want to have an impact with this template so that children and their families are going to be able to see the great stuff going on in so many classrooms worldwide. So we have a teacher guide with you here. Lois is going to really briefly explain. And again, I'm going to be shouting out Katie quite a bit today because she influenced us and me specifically a great deal with those little side teacher tips, and just really providing that additional context. And our hope, Lois and I, later on, a stretch goal, maybe creating like a companion Wakelet collection to provide that additional context. But we feel like this template is ready to go and simple to integrate into your practice. And we hope that by the end of this session, you'll take it away and use it to share what's going on in your class.
Yeah, so this teacher guide, and this all came about last year towards the end in our school district. We just started to incorporate lunch and learns. So during the elementary lunch schedule, because we do have Book Creator for all of our elementary schools, we first started off with Book Creator. And so when we were meeting with the different teachers during lunch, newsletters came about. And that is one of the areas that teachers are really wanting to use, but not really sure where to go to create them. So this is kind of how this newsletter came about. And we were really excited to share it not only with our teachers, but with all of you. And so to help our teachers and for you in the class to create your book, we have this teacher guide. So these teacher guides really feel like it's the start of the book to really kind of help you through as to the purpose of this book, how to use it. Alex created a great blog in order to really give you more information about Book Creator as he opens up the link. And also, not only does he give you information about the benefits of creating newsletters for your families, but then we also have the template down below. So I highly encourage that you take a look at Alex's blog because it really does lay the foundation, again, of the purpose and how to go about creating it. And just as you can see right here, and you'll see throughout the book, you'll see on the side, we have notes. And so that's another nice thing with Book Creator. When you are creating books and if you are creating something for your students, you can have notes on the side in order to help anyone that is remixing them. So we do have not only the teacher guide, but then we also have a school landing page because with the school landing page, this will help, again, families to see the different links that's going to give them access instead of having to always go to a web page for their school district. Everything is right here for them. So if they do want to go to the school webpage, they can click on and add that hyperlink right here. The teachers can. We give you different ideas of what you can hyperlink. Obviously, you can choose what would be beneficial for you. So again, we have not only the district website or the school, but the calendar is important. Or maybe you feel that having your social media accounts or the district's accounts to have families to be able to have access. Information for the nurse, that's always a beneficial thing where you may need to reach out to the nurse. It could be right here. So we give you different ideas as far as like the school handbook, the lunch menu. Again, these are just ideas, but it gives it just a nice page for parents to be able to have access right at their fingertips. And then we have at the very bottom where you can make it fun by just adding your school's logo, the image right there. So again, it just personalizes your school that's going out to your families and community.
And Lois had mentioned earlier that ability to add in that additional context and that side margin, so to speak. And again, I kind of went into the read mode to kind of show you that if you're trying to provide additional instructions to your students, any of your colleagues with regard to a Book Creator template, when you go into read mode, those little side margin tips are not actually visible. Yeah. So it's a really great pro tip as far as being able to provide additional context, resources, or otherwise while not changing the aesthetic of the actual page. And we'll show you a little bit later on, adding in some of those fun Giphy stickers. That's a very big thing that we've kind of done with regard to this template and any Book Creator templates that we're using at this time. But we really just want to show you that idea of that side margin, really great way of kind of integrating additional context into your book templates. So we have that landing page that's going to allow your students, their families, go to one stop in order to get all of the important links. Again, once you add in those hyperlinks, it can be translated, and we'll show you that at the end. But, for us, a newsletter, it's always important to meet the teacher or the team. And we kind of started here with the idea of we gave you 3 different frames. But the great thing about this template is any of these frames, you can resize, you can change the coloring of the border, and we also made it where it's the type of frame where if you hit the plus button, you can either upload a file or you can go into images and search for one. So we took those Book Creator like pre-created type of frames that will allow you to upload actual images. You don't want to do that. You just want to bring in your images. we'll then delete each of those aspects that you don't need, and then bring in the pictures that are most appropriate for you and your classes. So we gave you that space where all you have to do is double click to edit the text to fit you and your team members' names. You're sharing your grade levels and subjects. You can drop a little bit of a blurb about what you're hoping for the school year, what you're working on currently. And then, as always, we're trying to provide you those audio instructions in certain cases. And this is one where Lois recorded it for that accessibility piece that, we're all so passionate about. We generated automatic transcription for this audio message. And then for anybody who's not really aware, one of, to me, the most impactful features that Book Creator has brought about within the last 6 months or so is the translate feature in about 4 different ways: comments, an entire book, a one text box, or an actual audio message that has captions. So for anybody who doesn't know, who has a demographic of multilingual learners in their class, and we're trying to make them feel like they're included and they can kind of be working on the same material at the same time, I can go to this audio icon, right click, go translate. And for us, one of our biggest demographics is Spanish. You have 4 different options for voices. Katie, we got to talk about maybe getting 2 male and 2 female. I'm a little confused by that one, but it's okay. I mean, I'm nitpicking at this point, but I just find it interesting. But you then have the option to preview a voice. I'm going to go with voice C with the female. And then when I click translate, you get that very nice, colorful, jumping kind of ellipse right there. And in no time, I mean, how long did that take? 5 seconds, I would say. I can now click on this transcript and you see that it's been translated into Spanish. So for me, I've said this in so many different webinars recently, I get annoyed with platforms sometimes because all the really cool stuff kind of came out after I left the math classroom. But now I get to promote it at a whole new level to my colleagues and students. And really quick, completely real here. I went into a classroom recently to do a training on a book review template. We had multilingual learners in the class that I was not aware of. I was able to translate a whole book to have them up and running within about 30 seconds, and then share that in the library where they were remixing it and doing a great job with it. So that translate feature is such a simple and amazing way to make interactive and engaging books for not only your multilingual learners, but their families as well, to keep them up to speed with what's going on in your class. And then this is just a follow our classroom adventures page. We wanted to provide that outlet for you to provide your social media handle if you're into that. So we gave you, if you're an Instagram teacher, if you're a TikTok teacher, if you are a X, formerly Twitter type of teacher, all you have to do is take this logo, bring it in. I'll have to bring that to the front first. Put that in that little circle right there. You can then add your handle right here for people to follow your adventures. But let's say you're not on socials, or you have some type of school policy that doesn't work with you posting on socials. We gave you this one right here, this white with the globe and the cursor, to represent just your teacher page. So if you've got a Google site or a Canva site or anything like that, you would then just have that ability to add that plus a bit.ly link. And then for us, I don't know, I see a class photo on this one. I see a class photo going in this frame, or students completing some type of activity or project. And then you can also add some context over here on the right, and feel free to change any of the animated emojis as well. All right, let's get out of here. And Lolo, I think you're up on this one. This is just a very brief, simple page as well.
And this is a great way to just add more images. Again, you can change the layout of the size that you need. You could do a search for an image. So again, we're talking about the fall. We thought like it'd be nice to incorporate, as Alex is showing you right here, where maybe you have an image of the time of the year, and then you can have different pictures of your class or classes that you want to share out with the family. So you have so many different options with this layout. Again, that plus sign can bring you right to uploading a photo, whether it's from Book Creator itself or from your computer that you want to add. You can also, as you can see here, you can add anything from your Google Drive, and then you can also have any files that you have up here as well. But again, just gives you different options. You can change out the color. Again, you can change out the layout. If you only want to have a few photos, you can do that too. And that's a great thing with Book Creator. Everything is easy to remix and change.
Yeah, we really just wanted to kind of provide a little bit more space for you to share your classroom adventures. So that was David Hotler also contributed to this book in a couple of different ways. So we wanted to kind of extend that classroom adventures page where you could add more context, more activities, more fun going on in your class. And you can make these text boxes or images. It's really up to you.
And then we have this interactive calendar. So calendar was one of the areas that we were talking about in the very beginning. If you want a hyperlink, that calendar would be more for the district. This calendar would be for what's happening in the classroom. So making it interactive, we have a couple of different options to show you. Again, we have it on the left side as to how you can maybe use this one, for example. So as Alex is clicking on the purple one, that would take you to a Canva template that you can possibly use for the different months for this school year. So we kind of have it where it's for every month you're ready to go. But then if we go out of this one right here, again, we just have the specifics on the other page as to how you can use the calendar. And then this one right here in the blue, I love it because it's very colorful. This one is a template from Book Creator. So Book Creator now has all these awesome templates. And so this one, Alice is going to show you. We're just going to make a copy of it or add a new page right here. And then we'll show you how you can create a template. So we're going to go right over here to the plus sign. You're going to go over to the media. And as you can see here, both the icons and the templates, they're new features for Book Creator. So once Alice clicks on that, now you can do a search for what template you're looking for. So when we type in calendar, you also have a weather calendar that if you have, especially for the littles and helping them out with the weather each day, this could be another great option. But if you want to have for the families a calendar for your classroom, this was a great one that we were able to add. So you just click add to the book. And now you can change up the month, and then you'll be able to obviously change up the dates to match the month. But if you look at our example, we want to make it as interactive as possible. So this calendar has maybe the different holidays, and then you can add hyperlinks to the different activities or the holidays that will bring the parents to whatever website that you want to take them to, or information or activities. Maybe they want to do some home activities. You can hyperlink that into the links that you have right on your calendar. We also have audio message. So it's a great way to, again, make it more accessible for parents. You can have your students actually record as well. So maybe you have different students throughout the month that are recording and kind of change it up, because it becomes, again, more personalized. And always, parents and guardians are always excited to hear their kids' voice, and for them to say, hey, my kid is a part of this. It'd be a great way to kind of break that up throughout the school year.
Yeah, and we also kind of made it where for International Podcast Day, we provided links for cultivating a culture of peace, things that, parents can do with their children. So as to either instill digital citizenship or any other type of themes you're rolling with in your classroom. So we really like that ability to send a congratulatory message at the end of a week and translate it into their native languages for our multilingual learners. So this is just our very brief and simple example of how you can create an interactive calendar, not only keeping people up to date, but also making it interactive and more engaging for everybody involved. So we love this aspect of having templates pre-created, but if you would like to incorporate Canva templates and have a little bit more ability to customize, you can do that as well. It's on that page available to you. And then we kind of get near the end of this. Lois and I kind of thought of many different ideas as far as what would be most pertinent for a newsletter template. And for us, the final thing is really what we're learning. So, we collaborated with Katie and David on this to kind of talk about giving different layouts for different teachers depending on their grade level. So we have layouts for people who are teaching 2 subjects or maybe 1 subject with different sections. But, for us, we wanted to really create a real life example that would be, clear and provide that additional bit of, hey, this is what it's going to look like when I share it with my families. So we found these lovely, fun Giphy stickers that we brought in. And I'll show you really quick how to do that, because I'm not sure everybody knows how to do this. So again, we're going to go to that plus button. And then in this case, we're going to go to apps. And one thing, most people, when they go into the Giphy, they see all these GIFs and it's fun. And I see that bear doing the, that dance that was famous that I don't even remember what it was called anymore. But if you click on stickers, you see that you have that black and kind of gray background. That means that these are transparent. So if I type in something like math, you now have this calculator who's looking, that's actually putting me in a little bit of distress. He's looking very upset right now. But that Giphy integration, specifically with stickers, that's going to allow you to make them even more fun. I mean, I see, what is it, Betty White, correct?
Yeah, she's going wild with her
Betty
dance.
White, aging is living. Rest in peace, Betty White. But, this is a great way to either take a picture Or I went into a website called Pexels. I got just a generic video of kids learning science with their teacher right here. I'll zoom in for you. Of course, with Book Creator at any time, you could kind of just go full screen. This is a very interesting video that I found on Pexels. But again, you get the point. When you're in your class taking pictures, taking videos, you can very easily upload these into the frames, name the subjects that you're actually teaching, the sections that you do, and provide context either with text, pictures, video, audio, all of those different multimodal aspects that you have available on this amazing platform. And
And
that's
Alex, if you just go back to that real
yes.
quick, as Alex was showing here, depending on how many subjects that you're teaching, you have all these different options of pages. Again, you can go back to pages and delete anything that would not fit based on how many classes that you are teaching. And then you can add and make an additional copy if you want to have, let's say you're teaching one subject, but you want to have multiple pages of that one subject. You can, again, duplicate that so that way you can have more pages.
And really quickly, before we talk about a new opportunity that I was involved in recently, that's just the best possible cause it can be. I just wanted to briefly show the idea of under libraries on your main homepage. You know, we have our personal libraries up top. Lois and I have our LOLEX library, which is collaborative. We have the ones that are shared with us, but we have really been using those central libraries to the fullest. And Katie does an amazing job, again, with all of the different activity journals each month, promoting them, sharing them, I'm sure having a hand in creating them. So what we did is we kind of broke this up to the 2023-24 journals, the 24-25 journals, any of the books that Lois and I have created with regard to creativity or cross-curricular opportunities. Katie has her own library of STEM books that were absolutely stellar. So we were always passionate about sharing that. And then our solitary newsletter template book that we're sharing with all of our teachers in the district. So that central library piece where administrators having a district license, having that ability to curate the most effective, the best books for you and your teachers. It's really been a feature that we've been pushing to the fullest in Long Branch Public Schools. So we're very excited to really just promote the stuff we've created, the stuff Book Creator has created, to see our children shine. And Lois, I know you'll back me up on this. And Katie, this is new. I've never shared this with you. Lois and I have had the opportunity to go into multiple classrooms where platforms are introduced. Our students are joining classes for those platforms with the teacher. And when I tell you the only real platform that gets like a yay when it is mentioned by the teacher, it is Book Creator. So like
It is.
you legit have kids exclaiming yay when they say, okay, you're going to join our Book Creator class. So we just wanted to make sure you were aware of that, Katie.
That's what we love to hear. And that's why I'm excited to do this work. And I love partnering with coaches like you who are making kids excited about learning, because that's what it's all about.
Well,
they do love it, all ages
we
in our
do.
elementary schools.
And we made note of it. We were like, boy, it seems like the students here at Amerigo Anastasia School or, you know, Gregory School, they really love Book Creator. And that makes us happy because we know we're promoting something that the kids like, because usability and ease of use is important, but kids also need to enjoy what they're working on.
Yeah.
So I know we're kind of getting close to time, and I want to leave at least 5 minutes for a Q&A as needed.
And then Alex, before you go to your
sorry.
project, can you show everyone about the translation and how easy it is to translate a
Yes.
whole book?
Of course. So let's say
So
that
we have a big Spanish and Portuguese population. So we felt like this is a great way where you can add multiple languages, where it basically will duplicate the book that you create in any languages, as well as many books. It's going to do a duplicate of it, and it will always keep your original copy, and then you can have as many copies as you want based on the languages that you have at your school.
So all you have to do is click on that little like couple of stacked books here on the left side underneath your book. And now I've got the Zoom thing in my way. So if we click here and then you go translate book, that'll do the entire thing, any text boxes that you created on Book Creator. So to kind of close out, I'm sure that, you know, people in the US, I'm sure people around the world are well aware of some of the natural disasters that have been taking place, especially in the South, Florida, the Carolinas. I was lucky enough to be on a recent Book Creator Ambassador meeting with Lois, Christina, Anthony, and David. And Christina, who is residing in North Carolina, was really explaining the horrific conditions that students, teachers, schools, everybody involved, where roads are not even available to schools at this time. So what myself, Anthony, Christina, and David, we all kind of collaborated on is this adaptation of our template, of our newsletter template. And we didn't want to make this exclusive to purely people who are going through tough times right now. This is for anybody worldwide who's struggling, having to undergo some type of catastrophic event. And if you just simply need to share this with families, students who need that additional lifeline, we're going to very quickly kind of go through what's available to you here. So this is the Are You OK book. It's meant for crisis response moments. That same school landing page that we showed you earlier. Now, I didn't link this with anything. This was me just kind of coming up with different link ideas that would be appropriate for people in a time of need. So my hope would be, this would be used by some of those people in Carolina. And what maybe gave me the biggest thrill in the last couple of weeks, or at least having those feelings of gratitude, was that David Hotler, emailed each of us and said, it's happening, like people are using this and they're complimenting us for making this available to them. So you have some just basic hotlines, some websites for Crisis Go and natural disaster relief helplines. This is kind of just if you wanted to provide like a school update page. So we've kind of adapted if you wanted to have your teachers provide those motivational messages telling students that we miss you, you're going to be okay, we're going to make it work with this virtual teaching. We gave the classroom calendar again. I believe Christina kind of added some great resources and actually color coded this. So again, I don't want to, I added in a mood meter so that students could kind of tap into how they were feeling and learn how to regulate their emotions. I added in all of my Math 8 resources. Anthony brought in his quizzes resources. So you have math and ELA stuff. So we just really want, and you can even end with an inspirational quote for everybody. So we hope that, well, we hope that you're not undergoing some type of crisis that you need to use this book. But we just really hope that if you are, and you need anything, Book Creator is a platform that will help you. They will listen to you, and they will provide you with resources to make your teaching and learning as successful as possible, even in a time of need. So, Katie, I think we kind of touched on everything today. We still got a few minutes for a Q&A. And again, Lois and I couldn't have been more thrilled to get this opportunity to share these resources with everyone today.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here. We do have a few questions in the Q&A. And so the first one is there a way to tabulate statistics for your newsletters to track the number of views? So they want to know, how do we know someone's reading it?
Sure. So one of the things that and Lois, you can explain this one of the things that we love the most is the ability to kind of track your reads, locations, and all of that. So Lolo, you do want to kind of talk about that a little bit? I'll find a book
Sure.
for this.
If you want to pick maybe one of your books that you've been using.
I think this one would be good right now.
Okay. So if you click on that, the little globe right there, that is going to give you an idea on a book that you create yourself. You can actually see, if you go to the analytics right next to book details, not only how many people have read your book, but also where in the world people have been reading your book. And so you can zoom in, as Alex is showing you right here. And this is fun and exciting for students to see, because once they see, like, wait, it's not just in our little area, but not only across the US, but all over the world, it gets them really excited. And same with teachers as far as wanting to make that difference and also create more books in order to share out. And then you can also see how many people have remixed the book as well. So it's just a great way, again, just showing this and sharing this with students. And I find it like both ways. I mean, I'm a huge lover of just maps in general, as Alex knows. This is also a great way for students to learn about the different places around the world and the location as compared to where they are. So to me, I find it kind of like a twofold, like they're getting to see like how many times it's being read, but they're also getting to learn more about the location of the different countries.
And you could download the map and add it into your newsletter. If you've published a Book Creator book with your students and you wanted to share the amazing stats with everyone and your families, you could download the map and then post it there as well. So the ability to track remixes, reads, and the location of the reads, one of my favorite features on the platform.
Yeah, I think about, I come from like a military brat background, and I think about the ability to see if your parents deploy, that they've seen something, wherever they're at in the world, especially a community or a classroom newsletter like this, student could visually see like, my parents saw this, and that would be really exciting for me as like a military kid. So I think about that. We have another great question. Where do you find is the best place to share the newsletter with parents so it's easy for them to find?
I mean, for me, when I was instituting newsletters, it was via Remind. We were kind of pushing out a blast remind message. You know, for me, it would be whatever your LMS is, wherever you're communicating with parents, whether that be Google Classroom or Canvas or Class Dojo, any of those type of things. Even at a back to school night, I know we're kind of out of that frame of reference, but you know, if you're looking to share resources, the ability to share a book as a QR code, you could really, the possibilities are endless as far as how you share it. But for us, a simple read link. If you want people to just simply read it, a remix link within whatever your LMS is, I think that works more than good enough.
And then also maybe multiple areas of having access. So that way, if they're not going, let's say we have Class Dojo in our elementary schools, but maybe not every parent is going on Class Dojo. So having it there, and then also maybe, like as Alex saying, create a QR code and then have the students bring that home. So again, you know, every parent is going to be able to have access and they see it, because not everyone's always going to see maybe a message that they're having that the school uses.
Absolutely.
We have another question that says, have you found it challenging to engage parents to know how to use this transformative tool? And I think what's great is like once you publish a book, they don't have to have an account, like they don't have to log in, right? So they
Sure.
just have to have the link to view.
Yes,
Have you seen any challenges?
well, I mean, personally for us, you know, being tech coaches, we haven't released a newsletter with this template, but if I go back to when I was releasing newsletters as a math teacher, for whatever it's worth, I was creating video walkthroughs of kind of how to navigate the space. So I was providing those in translated and in English just so that everybody could truly access everything. But I would say with the simplicity of Book Creator, when you share that read link, it's pretty straightforward that you're just kind of clicking through. And as long as you're either providing that translated version for families who might speak another language, they're going to hit the ground running and be able to kind of just explore and see the great things going on in your classroom.
Awesome. And I think one more question that may be really more for Alex, but how would you use Book Creator for math and numeracy lessons? And do you have any examples with your background in math?
You know, putting me on the spot here really quick, but I'm so
It's
proud.
Ryan, it's not me. It's
It's
Ryan.
okay. It's okay. I'm very happy to share one of my first real books that showed that I can actually use this platform and integrate it into my practice. And I'll show you two quick examples. My first was a Math 8 word wall book. So what I did was, and you can kind of see that there's like a shadowy kind of image here of a sound icon. What that does is you don't see it on the read, but if I click, it'll be me reading to you. So what I did was I broke Big Ideas Math up into every chapter and took each of the terms. And I provided not only a written definition, but I also, if you click on any of the words of their definitions, it's going to be read to the students. Now, we didn't have Translate at the time, so I might have to go back in here and start pulling in some translation icons as well. But really just being able to provide a digital math word wall book, I would say that is one way that you could do it. I apologize for all the Bitmoji heads. It's a little morbid. But the other one that I recently created that I just couldn't be more proud of is this Polygon Palooza book. And I know we're kind of over time. I don't want to, you know, go too far here.
We're okay.
But
We're okay.
all right, I appreciate that, Katie. We have multiple different cross-curricular opportunities. And this was a book where I was lucky enough to partner with Epic, Book Creator, and Wakelet, where you just have some great math integrations. You have the Freyer model charts available to you to define terms that might be less familiar. You want to hear me with a very official accent, listen to my tangrams, the story of this mathematical, you know, concept and activity. You have the activity to be able to build your own tangram. I did extension tasks. I did cross-curricular where you're bringing characters to life. So I would encourage everybody kind of, and Katie, maybe I'll share this link with you so that in the resources on the YouTube page, we could add this as well.
Perfect.
But this Polygon Palooza book, this math word wall book, those are the two that I would kind of recommend if you're getting started as a math teacher. And please, it was Ryan, Katie, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's in the chat too.
Ryan,
Yes.
Ryan, reach out to me at any time. You know, Mr. Isaac's Math on X and Instagram and all that. We can talk math all day. I still, math is a very big subject for me, and I'm happy to talk more ideas with you.
And I just put your Twitter in the chat again so he can
Awesome.
connect with you.
Awesome.
Well, that was all the questions, Lois and Alex. We have loved having you here. The information you shared was so great. Do you have any parting thoughts before we wrap up? Other ways you've been using Book Creator in your district you want to share?
Lois, talk about, you go into so many classes, Lois. Talk about your, brief walkthrough of how you walk students through the platform.
So I get to work with the media specialists in our district. And so they work with all students in the elementary schools. And so this is a great way that media specialists have also been incorporating. And what better way, right? They're all about books. And so they have quite a list of different activities that they do throughout the school year. But with Book Creator, this has been one on their main list as far as having now students create their own book and also books that inspire them. So we've been working with media specialists. We also been working with our health and wellness coach, and she has created, Amy Zambrano, for all of our elementary classes. She has created some amazing books for students to remix. And so she does like a March challenge for like March Madness because she's very big into basketball. So it's a wellness challenge for March. And so every week she has been creating books last year. She'll continue it this year. And that's really what got the students so involved and really excited about Book Creator, because last year is when we bought it for our district. And every kid and teacher really got a chance to try it out to see other ways that they can use it. So we've been going in basically depending on what subject the teacher is teaching, and they'll reach out to Alex and I say, hey, Alex went in and worked with a fifth grade English teacher and helped her out with creating based on their favorite books for students to add each time that they're reading a book and a little bit of information about it. So there's a lot of different ways that we've been using it in our district. And what's great is that you can use it for anything. It depends on what you want to showcase.
Really quick as well, Katie, digital coloring books, downloading those blank pages as PDFs and then using that paint can to kind of fill that in and really create some very intricate designs. And then the last thing that I did most recently, we did a book review template. That was just so much fun. I was using the thumbs up and thumbs down animated emojis to kind of give kids their least favorite characters, their favorite characters, and just such fun giving kids the opportunity to practice with multimodal tools and get them those 21st century learning skills that they need to be prepared as they leave us to go to higher education and a job. So it touches on everything as we hope we showed you today. And please follow up with us at any time if you'd like to talk newsletters, math, or other integrations with Book Creator and beyond. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. In the chat, I have, and I'll put one more time, a link to this page of this book that will give you the resources. So we'll add Alex's math books to this page. And then we have some upcoming webinars we definitely want you to know about. We have Rushton Hurley. He's going to be coming and joining us and talking about 6 ways to challenge your students with generative AI. We're going to be having the Forward Edge coaching hero coming and chatting with us about using Book Creator in your coaching practice. And then we are going to have a really fun webinar on November 20th with an ambassador from Indiana and a national park ranger and talking about their Book Creator project that they've done. So we're really excited about that upcoming stuff. So we hope you join us. But again, I just want to thank Alex and Lois. This was a phenomenal webinar. You shared such great ideas about communicating with home and community, and also that outreach part too, when there are times of crisis, how important communication and resources are. And I just thank you guys so much for being valuable parts of our community.
We appreciate it, Katie. Thank you for the opportunity. We hope to do it again soon sometime.
Yeah.
And thank you everyone for tuning in and being a part of this and making comments and asking questions in the chat.
We appreciate you.
We always have a great audience. So we're so glad to have them.
Thank you again, everyone. Have a great day.
Take care. Thank you.